What's up everyone, it's your boy Shabern here. In this video we're going to talk about the Frost Mage rotation for single target and AOE scenarios. I will show you the opener for each situation and we will discuss in detail how the rotation works. So let's get right into it. So let's start with the two essential buffs that we get during our combat. The first one is Fingers of Frost. So every spell you do with the Frost Mage, as is with Frostbolt or Ray of Frost, has a chance to charge Fingers of Frost, which basically is a free Iceland proc. And they do not consume the freezing stacks at all. So these are always free to cast, and we will always use them. And the second buff we get is Thermal Void. We get these through our Brain Freeze proc. For example, when we use an orb, we will have a 100% chance to get a Brain Freeze proc right away. So basically, we always, when we have a Brain Freeze proc, we want to empower our next Ice Dancers so that we can shatter in additional stacks and deal huge amounts of damage. So let's get started with the opener for single target. We always use Glacier Spike at the start because it is by default available. We queue that into a flurry because we can just use one flurry right away because we will have a proc from the Frozen Orb anyways. Then we consume our consumables like pots, Bloodlust, or Trinket if you have. Then you go Orb into Ray of Frost. And then we're going to consume our Thermal Void buff with the Brain Freeze Flurry. And then we Ice Dance our way down below 6 stacks. And then we use our second Ray of Frost. And then we are going to shatter that again until we are below 6 stacks. And then we are using our other resources that we will discuss in the rotation video. Alright, let's get started with the single target rotation. We open with Glacier Spike, into Flurry, into Consumables, Orb, into Ray of Frost. Now we consume our Empowered Flurry because the Frost Orb, if we cast it, always gives us a Brain Freeze proc. Consume that to get Thermal Void to shatter additional stacks and do huge amount of damage. And now we consume our Ice Dancers procs and shatter our way down, and then we do the second Ray of Frost to build up our stacks again. So we Ice Lance, Ice Lance, Ice Lance. So now we are at 3 stacks of shatter, and when we are below 6, we use our second Ray of Frost to build up our stacks again. Now we use Glacial Spike because this is always priority in single target if it pops up. We have 20 stacks again. We consume our Ice Lancer's procs. We shatter our way down, shatter down. Now we have 6 stacks, 8, 2. We use the last flurry. Here you can see we have Brain Freeze proc, but I don't use it right away because if we use the Brain Freeze proc, we will shatter an additional 6 stacks. This means we need approximately 12 stacks for shatter to maximize our damage. So I will just Frostbolt a few casts in to get into the 12 stacks of shatter. So now, say I'm 10, now I'm 12, and now I'm consuming the Thermal Void buff to shatter an additional stacks. As you can see, now I throw in 2 Ice Lances, one with 6. I was at 17 stacks and one with 12. And now we're at 0 stacks again. Then we use a Flurry up, Glacial Spike. We can shatter once, shatter. And now we are at this point in the filler rotation where we don't have anything left. We will just cast Frostbolt to get above 6 shatter stacks. And then we shatter down with Ice Lances until our resources come back up again. So we Frostbolt, shatter, we Frostbolt, Frostbolt. Now our Ray of Frost comes back up again. We use it right away. Ice Lance proc, Ice Lance proc, Ice Lance, Glacier Spike. We now get into Orb. Consume Thermal Void, shatter, shatter. Now we use Flurry, Frostbolt, and we're below 6. We go Frostbolt again. We have no resources. Here again, we don't have 12 stacks of Shatter, and we would have a Brain Freeze proc, so I use some Frostbolts to get up to 12 stacks, and then consume it right away. Now let's talk about the AOE rotation. It is pretty much the same as the single target rotation, except that you add Blizzard to your priority list. So we will open in an AOE situation with Blizzard, into Flurry, into our consumables again, and then we go standard our Orb, Ray of Frost, Thermal Void proc, Ice Lance is down, and by that time the empowered Blizzard from the orb should already be available again. So we cast that, and then we use our second Ray of Frost, and then we shatter down Ice Lances. And basically, after that, whenever we use the orb, we cast the empowered Blizzard to get a lot of extra AoE damage. So we start with Blizzard, into Flurry, into Orb, consumables. I throw an Ice Lance in there, but it is fine. We use a Ray of Frost. Ice Lance, Ice Lance, Ice Lance, Glacier Spike, Ice Lance, Ice Lance, Ice Lance. We shatter. We use a Ray of Frost to get 20 stacks back up again. We shatter, shatter with Orb coming back up. We use a Blizzard right away. Consume the Thermal Void. Shatter, shatter, shatter. One point to mention here, if you have enough haste, you can cast the second instant Blizzard right away. I don't have enough haste. I would do that instead, but yeah, as the expansion goes on, we will gain more haste, and then you will be able to quickly cast a second free Blizzard again. Now we shut our way down. We don't have anything left, so we use Frostbolt. Up to 12 stacks. Shatter. We Flurry again. We throw a Ray of Frost. Consume our stacks. Our Orb comes back up again. We use the Orb. We use Blizzard. Flurry. Shatter. Shatter. Glacier Spike. Shatter. Shatter. And this is the whole AoE rotation. So the only thing that changes mainly is adding Blizzard in it and starting off with Blizzard at 5 or more targets. But I think you can also do it at 4 or more targets. It's always worth casting. And despite the Blizzard, it doesn't change a lot from the single target rotation.